We're kind of assuming a wide audience here. So if you don't have a whole lot of finance background, traditional exchanges, right? Central location, going back many years, a physical location. You've seen kind of pictures of people shouting at each other in trading pits. That's obviously evolved quite a bit over time. It's now electronic, but still highly centralized. So your modern exchanges are running a lot of order matching functions and market maker functions, albeit in a digital framework. So over the counter is basically, at the end of the day, is the peer-to-peer analog of centralized exchange trading. So the use case here is rather compelling. You're talking about a segment of the financial industry that's already organized itself in a peer-to-peer fashion. In order to do that, however, you're talking about losing a lot of the efficiencies and scale of centralized markets. So proposing trades, structuring trades, a lot of this is done over kind of traditional electronic communication means. That's chat, phone, whatever it might be. And a lot of, for this type of trading, it's bespoke, it's customized directly between counterparties. And other things that get lost there is sort of a centralized clearinghouse mechanism and record keeping for the data and information about trade activity in this particular market segment. So the concept is to take this middle ground where we already know we don't want a centralized model. It's already peer-to-peer in OTC, but provide a decentralized trading framework that can provide a lot of that automation and that scale that you get with centralized exchanges to the P2P OTC trading market. So the solution that we built is on Fabric, utilizing a Kafka order, basically allowing multiple parties to be part of different layers of different channels within that network, onboarding being relatively straightforward. Your kind of your traditional org onboarding for Fabric. And again, so depending on your familiarity here, there is no, the order isn't a central exchange or a central clearinghouse. It's just the mechanism within the network for ordering trades. So part of the solution we'll get in, we'll look actually at the UI at a moment. But one particular important thing for really all markets, but particularly OTC, is the need for some layers of privacy. You look at the prevalence of dark pools and other types of organizations off exchanges. That's frequently a very high priority. So we utilize the functionality of private collections in Fabric in order to facilitate that. So kind of looking at just a basic summary reporting view here, but the really important, or one of the noteworthy things, is just the redacted borrower and lender view, and that concept in an OTC environment to be able to view what is very important trade activity information that you need to be informed for making your decisions, but not being comfortable that your personal trade activity is not visible to anybody that's not directly involved. So again, just looking at private collections. In the current state of the solution that we built so far, some basic aftermarket reporting, kind of account balance and clearing is built in as well. So you have interest netting and aftermarket cash flow clearing. As far as chain code, we won't go super in depth just given the time, but you're, again, that utilizing private collections to query trade results and as well as trade execution. And we'll circle back, but if anybody wants to actually use the platform or try it out on a temporary basis, we have a website here, and you actually can access the platform itself. And just real quickly on Altoros, feel free to stop by our booth, but we're a consultancy, contract development, and training provider And we do some pretty extensive work with Hyperledger and particularly Fabric. So that will be it for the presentation, just trying to keep things moving along. We'll switch over. Just a brief kind of demonstration of the actual solution. Sorry, couldn't quite get these on the right screens originally. But just as a basic order placement, right now the current state of the solution is limited to debt instruments, so primarily loans. But we're interested if anybody else has particular instrument use cases, something that they want to see, or they're interested in this platform in general, and you have other products that you think would lend themselves to this, please let us know. We're actually interested in collaborating to onboard more product offerings on the platform. But so just as an example of a loan contingency, we'll do a small $2 million, and the interest rate built in. So basically your bid-ask order flow. And as soon as we do this, this will be presented on the system as available for bid-ask. So originated on these three entities. And sorry, real quick to circle back, we didn't quite cover that. So we have three different browsers. You'll see here we have OTC3, OTC2, and OTC1, different parties, kind of placeholder entities at this point. But once that order is placed, it will show up on the order book for the other entities involved, and accepting is fairly straightforward. It's a single push button. And what you can see here again is just the record of all the transactions that have cleared, that relevant information, your amounts and rates, but redacted when the party is not directly involved. So we see here the Swiss view of the system includes all of their direct involved trades, but a trade between the two other parties on the network are redacted as to who they are. So reporting functionality, again, we built in some kind of preliminary reporting graphics and summary views of activity on the network, and provided some kind of deal querying for historical analytics purposes. And then again, summary for each individual account is also offered as far as the clearing and interest netting. So with that, I think that will cover most of the features that we're looking to get through. So if we have enough time, I think we have a few minutes for Q&A if there are any questions. Yeah, sure.
Do you handle settlement of the trade, or is this more just white labeling the software?
At the moment, it's a proxy for the settlement that occurs off network. So integration to the institutions would be kind of the phase 2 to build off of this. Any other question? Okay, so I think we're good on time. So thanks very much for joining again. Any questions, please let us know. Thanks.